Good morning. This is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, July 28th, 2026. Fire potential headlines for the next week include an overall warming and drying trend expected area-wide as the ridge slowly moves overhead. We'll see some breezy winds through midweek. We'll also have isolated daily afternoon storms over eastern areas both today and tomorrow, and then possible isolated dry storms on the Payette Thursday night. So looking like a pretty isolated event. Fuels-wise, fire danger is rapidly increasing area-wide by the weekend. Fire potential impacts for the next couple of days are shown here. We're looking for smoke continuing to impact much of western and central Idaho through the following days. We also have some breezy winds here and there across the area, although these winds are generally below red flag warning criteria. Hot and dry conditions will continue to build area-wide, and then we'll see some isolated mixed wet dry storms continuing today and tomorrow in eastern areas. Yesterday we did see some storms developing over mainly central and eastern Utah, with a few storms in east central Nevada as well. These were kind of a mix of wet and dry. Yesterday's fire activity showed 22 new fires for 488 acres, and we did have quite a bit of large fire growth on our fires. Most of that fire growth was coming from the fires in Nevada. Taking a closer look at our smoke impacts for today and tomorrow, we can see quite a bit of smoke in place over western and central Idaho and northern Nevada. That's mostly coming from the fires in Oregon, but also from a few of the fires we have ongoing in the Great Basin as well. Fire danger indices continue to increase area-wide. We have many of our PSAs above the 80th and 90th percentile. As we head into the weekend, we'll see these values continue to increase. Here's just one area, southwest Idaho. The values are currently below normal for the time of year, but with the hot and dry weather moving in, we'll see those values quickly come up to normal and even surpass normal and reaching up to the 90th percentile perhaps by the weekend into early next week. And this is really the general trend we're expecting area-wide. This morning's satellite imagery shows area of high pressure in place across the southern Rockies. This high pressure ridge will continue to slowly make its way westward, building over the Great Basin, bringing some significant heat this weekend. The upper air pattern for the next couple of days shows a high pressure ridge in place just to the east of the Great Basin, and that'll strengthen and start to slowly move westward as we head closer to the weekend. We don't have any high risk for the next couple of days, but we do just have very hot and dry conditions developing with some breezy winds here and there. A closer look at those winds shows some elevated values over the central Idaho mountains and parts of southern Nevada today and tomorrow. We do have gusty outflow winds expected with any thunderstorms that develop both today and tomorrow, and then by Thursday we should lose the thunderstorms but could still see some slightly elevated breezy winds, but still below red flag warning criteria. Minimum relative humidities are very low across particularly Nevada for the next couple of days, but the values really drop in Idaho as well, across the lower elevations especially. And then as we head into Thursday and the weekend, the RHs will be dropping over Utah as well. Precipitation for the next couple of days shows a chance for some thunderstorms to develop once again over southeast Idaho and northern Utah, mainly today, maybe a little bit lighter across southern Utah than what we saw yesterday. And then Wednesday, it looks like we see a little bit of a return of moisture for a better chance of some high elevation mountain showers and thunderstorms in Utah tomorrow, and then up into eastern Idaho and western Wyoming as well, before we really see a pretty significant decrease in thunderstorm coverage beginning on Thursday. For the weekend, we'll see the high pressure ridge finally make its way over the Great Basin beginning on Friday and Saturday, where and into Sunday, where we'll see our temperatures really spiking. On Saturday and Sunday, there is a little bit of a trough that comes across the southern Canadian border into the Pacific Northwest, which will increase some winds over the central Idaho mountains. So we do have high risk issued for those areas on Saturday and into Sunday. But elsewhere across the geographic area, it's just going to be very hot and very dry. A closer look here at the winds, showing generally light conditions on Friday, and then we see some breezy winds starting to move in Saturday and into Sunday. Those minimum relative humidities are really tanking for the weekend with the high pressure ridge building overhead, with the values dropping into the single digits for most areas across the geographic area. And precipitation really drops off for the weekend as well, not expecting much of anything across the area. A quick look at the temperatures here showing the values for today, a little bit even lower than what we saw yesterday with highs mostly in the mid to upper 90s across the area. But by Saturday, most value locations are going to be above 100 degrees with Salt Lake coming in at 105, Boise 102, Reno 103. So very hot this weekend. Minimum relative humidities are also going to decrease as we make our way into the weekend. For today, we still have very low recoveries across Nevada, but the recoveries are a little bit better over Idaho and Utah. But as we head into the weekend, we'll see those overnight values really decreasing area-wide, with recoveries really only in the 20s. To sum things up, we don't have any high risk in the short term with the ridge building overhead. It's a hot and dry pattern that's moving in, but for the weekend we may see some breezy winds over the central Idaho mountains Saturday into Sunday. Otherwise, again, hot and dry. Can't overstate that impact there. The extended forecast for August 2nd through the 6th is calling for continued very hot temperatures over the southern Great Basin, and below normal precipitation, especially across the northern half of the geographic area. We'll see if we get a little bit of monsoonal moisture back into the southern parts of the Great Basin as we head into the first part of August. That concludes today's briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.